Well, hello everyone. I've got a special video here today. Actually, I'm going to make it an open tag. I would like other channels to jump in here. And this is for the fellas out here in the knife community. Hey guys, we need to step up. We got ladies out there that are looking for suggestions for knives for everyday carry, knives to carry in their purse or carry in their pocket. And what's good for us fellas aren't always good for the ladies. And this was, well, it was kind of spurned on. I had a conversation with Thomason, one of the viewers, and she had watched my review of this Buck 501 Squire. And she said, I think you've sold me on the Squire. That looks like a good knife for me to be able to carry. I don't need a big Buck 110 or a 112 or anything. And she just thought this was the right size. Also, it has a drop point blade instead of the clip point blades like some of the other Buck lockbacks have. So this is the 501 Squire. And the Squire does come with this leather pouch. You can carry it on your belt, or if you're a lady with a large bag, you could keep it in the pouch here and in your bag, and it'd be a little easier to find. So I'm probably not going to be able to find the perfect knife for Thomason. You know, we're all out there looking for that perfect knife and meets all of our criteria. You know, you get some of the features you want, but one feature you don't want, and to get them all together as one can be extremely difficult. So as we go through this, I'm going to try to throw out some concepts and some ideas, but other channels, please jump in. Remember, we're keeping the ladies in mind. And some of the things we have to consider is fingernails. You know, they tend to have longer fingernails. They want to keep their fingernails looking very nice. And they have smaller hands. And what else in general? Again, purse versus pockets. The pockets on ladies' trousers or on ladies' slacks tend to be very small, not very deep, if they have pockets at all. So what you would recommend for a pocket carry would be different than what we might recommend for a purse carry where they have a little bit more room. So Thomason replied, you know, when I asked, what are you looking for in a knife? And this is what she came up with. Now, not every lady is going to perhaps have the same criteria. We all have our own individual taste. But she wants a handle under 4 inches, overall length under 7 inches. She doesn't like pocket clips. She usually removes those. She wants to avoid strong pulls, which we can all agree that, like on a slip joint knife, if it has a very strong pull, why it's not a lot of fun trying to get the blade out. She prefers like a rolling half stop. Lockbacks are hard to disengage, and I would agree that some of them can be awful tight and awful hard to disengage. Because of where she lives and the humidity, she prefers a stainless steel blade, and she doesn't like zippered pouches. Now, Mrs. Knife Delights does have 2 knives in a zippered pouch that she carries in her purse. So there again, that's an individual preference. But for Thomason here, she doesn't like zippered pouches. And I guess her favorite blade shapes are Wharncliffe and drop point. So again, this 501 meets that criteria of it. It is a drop point and not a clip point. Now it is a lockback, but I don't find this one too hard to close. I just wanted to point out also that this is the 501. There's also the 503 Prince, and it's a little bit smaller, but it's got the same drop point blade to it, and you can see the size difference. Now this does not come with a pouch, but I just wanted to show that as an alternative. One thing that was not mentioned was price, but I'm going to start out with some budget options here. And I really like the Buck Bantam series. And here's one cover material that I have in all 4 sizes. And it just kind of lets you see the different sizes here. Here's one up here in the blaze orange that I'm going to get out, because this size here, it does not have the pocket clip on it. It is easy to open, and for fingernails it's easy to pinch that blade and open it up. Downside is well, it's a mid-lock, and I think mid-locks are kind of easier to operate than the lock back. So you can press down here, and very easy even with fingernails. Mrs. Knife Delights carries this size here. Again, no pocket clip, but she carries it in this blaze orange. She just loves that orange. But this is the smallest of the Bantam series, and it is a lockback, unfortunately, but it does have the drop point blade. And the 2 or 3 of them that I have in this size, I find these to be very easy to operate. Plenty of room to pinch there, pull it out, and that lock is not too tight. And here's another one here. So another thing that Thomason said, that she has multiple purses, so she likes to keep, you know, a knife in every purse. So for cost-wise, now these are not in production anymore, but you might be able to find them still in some stores and on eBay. But, you know, these were like $14 or $15. So budget-wise, you could buy these, and it wouldn't break the bank, and you could have one in every purse. You could have one of these smaller ones here in every purse, and then, you know, have a bigger main knife that you would transfer from purse to purse. Or you could carry both of these, and again, they're extremely lightweight. Mrs. Knife Delights likes this size. It's good for smaller hands. It fits her hand very well. And I gotta say, again, the ergonomics on these Bantams are great. Now, I do have a full video up on my Buck Bantams where I go through all of these knives. One of the other advantages to the Bantam series is I think there's 11 different cover designs. So you've got the orange here, you got this OD green. Here's another one of the small ones. Again, very nice and easy to open. Fingernails would not get in the way. But you know, they've just got all kinds of different colors. So, yeah. There's kind of a snake looking one. I don't remember all the names, the official names, but yeah. So you can probably find something that fits for you. Now, like I said, it's hard to find a knife that meets all of the criteria. But if you talk simply blade style, the classy look to it, this is a Case Teardrop. And it has the lilac covers to it, but with Case knives, there's usually a whole variety of different cover material. I just think this is an elegant, classy knife, and it would be great for smaller hands. The downside is, for Thomason anyway, she doesn't like full half stops, and this one happens to have a full half stop to it. And there's not a lot to pinch right there. So as far as fingernails goes, that might be a showstopper. But I tell you what, I just think that's a classy looking knife, very elegant, and the ladies just might like this one. This is the Case Mini Copper Lock, and I failed to mention on the Teardrop, it's nice and thin, so it might go into the, you know, ladies' front pockets if that's what they're looking for. Another nice thin one is the Copper Lock here. It's got the white synthetic. You got plenty to grab a hold onto with your nails. The downside is it is a clip point. So again, you get a clip point and a mid lock, although this lock is pretty easy. So again, you get some of the features you're looking for and some that you're not, but there is an option. It's nice and thin, nice single blade. Another classy looking knife. Another option, this is a Buck doctor's knife, but there's several companies that make doctor's knives. Now this is the two-bladed version. You got this really nice long slender spear point, and then you have the spatula blade, which is what makes it the doctor's knife. However, they do make doctor's knives without the spatula, which, in a way, is it really a doctor's knife then? But the point is, without that spatula blade, the knife's going to be a lot thinner. And so I just think this is kind of the pattern itself is an elegant pattern. This has green smooth bone on it. Just a pretty knife, a classy looking knife. So you may want to look at a single-bladed doctor's knife. Another elegant choice is this Case Mini Copperhead. And it has the feature of, as Thomason said she likes, it has a Wharncliffe blade. Now I can't remember if this is their 22 volt knife or not. I can't remember. But again, this is in the curly maple. But again, Case offers lots of different handle materials. So nice, lightweight. The Wharncliffe blade does stick up quite a bit. So I think you can get in there and pinch and it wouldn't be a problem with the fingernails. So you got your Wharncliffe blade. Now this one would be a little more difficult to get out, but your little pen blade back there. So there's another nice option. Now the next few examples that I'm going to be showing is more of concept. Not so much that it meets the needs, but I just, here's a full-size trapper, and it's pretty big and pretty heavy. But for a lady that's looking for a trapper, if they like that pattern, Case does make the mini trapper, and there may be other companies also. So as you can see, there's a difference in size, so this one would be better for a smaller hand. And for in a purse, it doesn't weigh so much. The bad part about this one, it is hard to open, a little harder, not a lot to grab a hold of. It's got the clip point, which Thomason doesn't care for, but it does have, the spade blade here. And the spade blade's a little easier to get out. So it's just an option, and again, it's just a concept of knowing that there's a lot of larger pocket knives that come out with miniature copies of it. So here's another example. This is pretty much a full-size canoe. I really like the canoe pattern, but to have it a little more dainty or for smaller hands, a lady might prefer a smaller canoe. And this is what Case calls a baby butterbean. And it's got a long nail pull there, and it's kind of hard to pinch. Maybe with a little more oil and working it in a little more, might be easier to open. However, this, again, just an option. It doesn't meet all the criteria, but it is a classy looking little knife. Now, I didn't get a full-size one out, just this smaller one. This is a tiny toothpick by Case. There's other companies that make smaller ones. Marbles actually has one with like an orange synthetic cover material, which I might have to pick up one of these days. It looks kind of nice, but this is an elegant looking knife, but you can get them in, some of the budget knives, a little cheaper. There's a little bit there to pinch on. Of course, being a toothpick, you got that very long clip blade, so that's not the blade that Thomason's looking for. But under the classiness category, this sure foots the bill. Okay, my last concept here is, this is the Buck full-size Spitfire, so it's much larger than what Thomason was looking for. But they also come out with the mini Spitfire. Okay, for my last pairing, I'm going to show a couple of Buck Spitfires here. This is the full-size one, and it may be too large for the smaller hands. So again, Buck came out with the Mini Spitfire. It has a very nice blade. It's a very good EDC. The drawback is it is a locking, but it's a mid-lock, and I found it to be pretty easy. One thing I did not say before is as far as the ease of opening a blade, you need to look and make sure, if that's a real big concern, if it's adjustable or not. Those Buck Bantams and the slip joints and those are pinned, so there's no adjustment to them. So if you get a knife that has an adjustment here, it makes it a lot easier. So again, a benefit here is I think you can keep your nails out of the way if you want to open it like that, or you know, you can pinch the blade. Plenty of room to pinch. So these are very nice knives. I don't know if they're in production anymore, but I think you can still find them online. And there was different colors of these anodized aluminum handles. So just one more option there. Last but not least, I just did a Fun Knife Friday video on this Kershaw Chill, and this might be a good option. It is a liner lock, but it's got a very nice blade to it here. This is very lightweight. It's got nice G10 covers here, and I found that it's pretty easy to open and close. Pretty good action. Of course, I'm working around the camera here, so just the tiniest of flicks there, and this blade opens up. So yeah, this is a pretty good option for a modern knife. I think it's a budget knife. I don't know if it's still in production, but I'm sure you can find it on an auction site if it's not. But you know, you can even pinch this one. Plenty of room for the fingernails there. So this, to me, I mean, I really like this knife. I'm not a flipper knife kind of guy, and again, the pocket clip could be removed if you don't want the pocket clip. But yeah, this is a very fine EDC option also. Okay, time to wrap this one up. As you can see, I'm probably about 15 minutes into this. I've just barely scratched the surface. Thomason, I don't know if this was of any help to you or not, but I do at least want to get this conversation started. So for all of you other channels out there, talk to your your wives and daughters and such. Find out what they prefer in an everyday carry knife. Make a video. Let's get some recommendations out there for the ladies. It's the least we can do for them. So until next time, everyone have a very delightful day.